Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of All the Mods Tree. So last episode we played around with RF Tools dimensions and created the dragon dimension. This episode I want to take a break from anything to do with dragons and draconic evolution and want to get into Industrialcraft 2 to make UU matter so that we can start duplicating the main resources. UU matter is no longer as necessary as it was in 1.7 because we do not have the advanced solar panels and there's no need to duplicate iridium or iridium plates to make those solar panels. I mainly want to use it to generate resources like gold, steel, iron, uranium, and etc. Because I don't want to use mystical agriculture for everything, and I want to make it a slight challenge because setting up the UU system is slightly difficult. Well, anyway, let's get down to business. The first thing that I want to check is the solar panels from Environmental Tech, because I cannot add any more dynamos to our setup and I cannot add an extreme reactor which produces enough RF for us. We're going to need a lot of RF. I want to check if I add a lower tier controller and a higher tier of solar cells, will it make considerably more power? Because I want to fit it on top of our Dynamos tower so that I would avoid loading more chunks, and a tier 6 will not fit on top. So I want to see if I can put a tier 5 with tier 6 solar cells and will it make more power or not. So this one makes 549 RF. Let's see how much will it do if I use tier 6 solar cells. So the controller is still tier 1, and how much do you produce? Okay, it's almost double, more than double. Perfect, so we will use this solution. Do you remember that a few episodes ago I said that I'm not going to use the solar panels from Environmental Tech because they're just one multi-block structure, they're easy to make, they're super overpowered, and it's not fun. I remember saying all of that, but the problem is that we are going to need a lot of RF, and I do not dare to add any more dynamos or alternative sources of RF generation to our world because it's getting super laggy. I even used MC Edit to cut off the dimensions that we're not using, cut off most of the chunks that I have already explored. So the game runs more smoothly, but I don't have a choice. It's producing 630,000 RF, which is very nice. So in total we should get 700,000 and it fits well. How much are we making? 775. That's nice. It should be enough, I'm not sure, but that's something to check later. Well, it does look okay from up here. It definitely fits better than tier 6, so I'm not complaining. Now that we're going green and 80% of our power comes from the sun, it does make sense to make celestial manipulators from draconic evolution in order to skip the rain and in order to skip the nights. Of course, with piezo modifier on your solar panel, you don't technically need to skip the rain because it generates almost the same amount of RF, but I've never seen anyone to say rain is beautiful in Minecraft, let's enjoy it. Everybody just wants to sleep away and turn off rain. So that's what we're going to do. It's not going to affect our astral sorcery setup because we can always turn it off and not skip the night if we want to. So rain sensor and daylight sensor, and we right click to put it on nighttime. We put a redstone here and here, and then we provide them with power. And this one. So one is set to sunrise and the other one to sunny weather, which is by default. And it's already working. Perfect. Getting into IC2 is always very difficult because you need to craft a lot of materials, casing, sheets and wires. An early game solution to this when you do not have auto crafting is the industrial workbench. It has an internal inventory so you can keep your finished products or the raw materials inside. It's easy to craft, and the only problem with it is that the hammer and the wire cutters will run out of durability, so you have to change them from time to time. There's also an automated version of it which uses power. And if you already have auto crafting and an applied energistic system, the best way is to start with metal formers. You need several of them because you need to have several recipes, and they are used frequently. It's the most difficult item to craft if you want to do it manually. And also, always make a wrench, because if you break the devices with a pickaxe, there's always a chance that they will break and you will only get the casing. A wrench will decrease that chance, and a power wrench will guarantee that you will get the device back. So for expensive devices, always use a power wrench. Another problem with Industrialcraft 2 is that it uses a totally different type of power system, EU, and EU does not stand for European Union, just as RF does not stand for Russian Federation. The way to get over it is that you make universal cables from Mechanism, because they transfer and convert every type of power. They transfer RF, EU, and also MJ, which I don't think it's in use anymore. Also, when you're using the ultimate cables from Mechanism, always give 4 transformer upgrades to each device. There are 4 tiers of power in Industrialcraft 2: low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, and super high voltage. So we are giving them super high voltage, and I don't want them to explode, because in the past there was a chance that if you give them higher power than they can accept, they would explode. Also, after making your metal formers and putting in the recipes, go for a canning machine in order to make the IC2 coolant, which allows you to make the overclocker upgrades. If you didn't know, the IC2 devices are super slow, they're very inefficient, and after a while you're like, why am I even using them? But if you use maybe 20 overclocker upgrades in them, they will be working at maximum speed, and believe me, their maximum speed is even higher than the ultimate furnace from Mystical Agriculture. They process things so fast that even the ME interface cannot suck items fast enough. Also, you will need 2 canning machines, one for enriching water with lapis and the other one for filling in the empty cells with the coolant to be used in crafting the overclocker upgrades. Also, IC2 devices are very different from thermal expansion and Ender IO devices because they cannot be configured and they cannot auto-eject their finished product into an ejected inventory or a device. So you need to make a lot of injector upgrades for all of them. Mainly you have 2 different types, one for items and one for liquids. Since we are using 2 canning machines and I want the IC2 coolant to be transferred automatically into another canning machine, I need to make the fluid ejector upgrade. And the way that ejector upgrades work is that you have to shift right click on the side that you want it to eject from. So we shift right click on the bottom side because that's the side that I want. So we set this one to fluid enrichment, and when it gets 8 lapis it will produce 1 bucket of IC2 coolant, and there is a macerator which provides it with lapis, and it's very slow because we don't have the overclocker upgrades. And the second one, we put it on fill the cell from the tank. I already have the cells on auto crafting. You need 3 filled cells with IC2 coolant per 2 overclocker upgrade. And we are almost there. We need 1 more lapis dust, and then I can have a sample so that I can put it in the auto crafting and we can start auto crafting overclocker upgrades. It started. It's very slow now, but you will see in a while that how fast this thing can go. So a pattern for the 10k coolant cell and the overclocker upgrade. Finally. So do you see how slow this is going without an upgrade? It's terrible. And it's very noisy. And look at the difference now. With 20 overclocker upgrades, it's almost instant. In order to make UU matter, we're going to need mass fabricators. In order to make the mass fabricators, we're going to need hardened stone. And to make hardened stone, we need construction foam. And to make construction foam, we need stone dust, which either comes from a manufactory, from advanced rocketry, which seems easier, or a centrifuge. Maybe I try the manufactory. So 1 manufactory and 10 speed upgrades. And we also give it power. And let's see if this thing works. I need stone. Stone. For some reason, when you write B in the wireless crafting terminal, it... oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. That was maybe a glitch. It's working pretty fast. The thermal centrifuge from IC2 is not that fast. So let's hook it up to auto crafting and see if this thing actually works and we can use it as a substitute. So I made another canning machine to make the construction foam, and it's working pretty fast. I'm not complaining. I hooked it up to a fluid transposer from thermal expansion, and the reason for that is that the construction foam sprayer takes 8 buckets of construction foam, and if you do not do it in a fluid transposer, it's going to take a long time, and you have to do it 1 bucket at a time. So this should be easier. Let's fill this in and we go check it out. I just realized that I have to make a correction. It's not the mass fabricator which requires the reinforced stone, it's the replicator. It does not change our plan, I just mentioned the wrong device. So, we are going to need a lot of iron scaffolding from IC2, and let's go upstairs and try this thing. And in order to make the reinforced stone, you have to put scaffolding on the ground and use your CF sprayer and spray construction foam on top of the scaffoldings. It's still wet, but when it gets dry it will be called reinforced stone and you can mine it. You can also use it for walls and okay, nice. Well, yeah, right now since they're wet you can break them immediately. You can also use them for walls, and the main purpose of this is actually to make a casing for the nuclear reactor from IC2. Another method of making the construction foam, if you do not want to use a fluid transposer, is that you put a puddle of water and you drop a construction foam in it. And you have the liquid construction foam, and you can take it out with a CF sprayer. But that's just one bucket every time, so it's not as efficient as the system that we have. I have to wait for this thing to get dry and it will take a while. As you can see, some of them have already changed into reinforced stone. I'll wait for the rest of them. It's been 20 minutes and most of them are dry now. I don't know the exact... okay, a little bit of lag. Maybe I should restart my client. Anyway, as you can see, some of them are still not dry and not ready. I don't know the exact mechanics behind it, but I think there was a way to hasten this thing up. So, a recipe for the replicator and the replicator itself. Having a replicator on its own is basically useless because it uses UU matter in order to duplicate items that you want. UU matter itself is made in a mass fabricator which converts energy into UU matter. It consumes a lot of energy and it takes a very long time. In order to hasten the process, you should provide it with scrap. In order to make scrap in Industrialcraft 2, you need recyclers. Recyclers basically convert everything that you put in them into scrap. The cheapest item that we can provide it in order to have a consistent supply of scrap is cobblestone. So our main task is to make a huge cobblestone generator. Just as a small note, I had to change the manufactory with a thermal centrifuge because the interface was not getting the items from the manufactory. So I had to change it. How the hell did you spawn? I mean, come here. Come. Okay, I have a bow and you're going to die. Where are you? As you can see, I'm perfect at aiming. I'm amazing. So, in any case, I made two variants of a cobblestone generator. One uses extra utilities 2 and the other one uses Nuclearcraft. And we'll see which one is faster. So this one we are going to put a mining upgrade, a stack upgrade and 64 speed upgrades. And we will see how fast this is creating cobblestone. This one, I have never played with it, but I want to see how fast it's going to make cobblestone. Oh, it's already making it. Holy... wow. Wow. Okay, that seems much faster than the transfer node. Okay, so we have a winner. We're going to use Nuclearcraft. Alright guys, this is literally the last step and I promise you that. You need to just make a scanner and a pattern storage. The scanner scans the item that you want to duplicate in the replicator and stores it into a pattern storage. The pattern storage keeps a memory of several items and you can change between them to replicate different items in the replicator. The key point is that the pattern storage, the scanner and the replicator should be side by side. Otherwise it will not work. Alright guys, this is how we're going to set it up. So there will be two replicators on the bottom and we need two mass fabricators, which I forgot to bring them. They are here though. So they go on the top, like so, and like so. Cool. I don't know why I was under the impression that if I put just one scanner in between, we will have enough space to put one pattern storage, but apparently I'm one short. So in any case, let's just set this thing up and we'll fix it later on. So pattern storage is next to the replicator and we are going to put recyclers here and here. Okay, yes. So I'm thinking of having 6 recyclers for each mass fabricator. That should be more than enough. We put 3 of them here, and we are going to put 3 of them in the back, like so. 1, 2, 3, and I just blocked myself inside. Okay. Yeah, because we are going to use mechanism cables, and they need a block, and I cannot hide them anywhere, so we put them like this. It should be fine. I also thought that 1 cobblestone generator is probably not enough, so I made an extra one, and we're using ultimate universal cables, so they transfer a lot of EU. Also I hook these guys up, and yeah, also I have ultimate logistical transporters, and I need to configure it, and I don't know how to get there. Yeah, we break the wall, it's fine. So we have to set you to pull. Yeah, okay, we can see the items moving, and I believe that they're already making scrap. Scrap is not a 100% drop or result. There's a chance that you will get scrap. It's not 100% every single time. And we do the same with this one. So what we have to do is now to take that scrap and put it into the mass fabricator, and I think this is, yeah, it matches the other side, and that bothers me, so we remove that connection. The only thing remaining is to put some servos, and I think I have enough servos. Yeah, okay, cool. So now that the servos are done, he is getting scrap. Perfect. I forgot to just connect it to the power, sorry. Our ultimate cables, 1 for you and 1 for you. So, do you work? Yeah, sorry, you're the replicator. You are working. It's going very fast because, first of all, we're almost providing it unlimited amount of power, and we are also providing it with constant amount of scrap. Otherwise, it should not go that fast. And I also have to put a lot of overclocker upgrades for the recyclers, because right now they are not producing very fast. And I think I'm going to put 10 for now, and until I make more. So now that I have installed almost all of the overclockers that I have, this should be going at a decent speed. Don't get me wrong, this is supposed to be very slow, but we're almost providing it with unlimited power, and we're producing a lot of scrap, so it's going fairly fast. I forgot to put ejector upgrades for the mass fabricators, so the UU matter is not actually going in the replicator. One thing you can do is just right click on the bottom or at the side of any block in the world, and this should work still, right? And that one is not connected to power, but this one is, and yeah, the replicator is getting UU matter, and we just have to connect this one to power. I forgot, sorry. So I just finished scanning a gold ingot in the scanner. We press save, and here we can see the information. It's saved in the pattern storage. We also select it in our replicator and press repeat run. It will continuously make gold ingots until it has UU matter, or we ask it to stop. I know this is a long shot, but yeah, it does not do draconium. It's fine. Do you do 64Ks? Because that would also save a lot of time. I know the other ones will be from extra cells, so it probably will not recognize it, but yeah, it also does not recognize 64Ks. It's fine, I can use steel, because I need a lot of steel and gold for the induction matrix from Mechanism. They use thousands of golds and thousands of steel ingots, and yeah, it's fine. Alright guys, I tidied up the place a little bit, I added 2 ender chests, so the results will just go into our ME system. I think it looks fine. I have to fix the right side because it's not in symmetry, so I'll fix that later on off camera, it's fine. So this is how fast we are making UU matter, and this is how fast we are getting steel. And that's actually quite nice. You should also understand that we're not using any resources to make them. And how much gold are we getting? That's very fast, good. Because I was running low on gold all the time. I use a lot of gold for the induction matrix and also for the storage devices from Applied Energistics. This is good. We are done here. I know this is very stupid, but I also decided to replicate a little bit of wood because I don't have wood, and the tree farm from Astral Sorcery is very slow. The problem is that it's actually using much more UU matter than gold. It's very confusing. Yeah, let's get back to steel. We fixed wood problem later on. Also, I just wanted to show you how fast are we using gold. Okay, that was anticlimactic, because we have the tablets. So each ultimate version requires 500 tablets, and if I order 500 new tablets, you can see that it's using 1500 gold. We also need a lot of gold from the draconic cores. We also needed a lot for applied energistics, so I'm always low on gold. It's not low, it's 30,000, but you get the idea, because I have like hundreds of thousands of iron and just 30,000 gold. So power wise, this is a catastrophe, because we are using so much more than we are actually producing. It's nighttime now, so we're producing much less, and you can see how fast the power level is dropping. I have to fix this. Yeah, well, I prefer not to comment on the fact that I have to make solar panels, but I did not have a choice. So this should solve our power problem. And why aren't you placing the last cell? Is there a piece of grass left? Yeah, there should be. Well, now that the power is dropping so fast, this is a temporary solution. Maybe later on we get into Draconic Evolution and we make a Draconic Reactor. But for now, this is the only choice I have. And yeah, it's producing 1.7 million. That's cool. It's working. Let's go and of course I have to chunk load this place as well, and we do you. I can also decorate it, make it look nice, and maybe you will forgive me for doing this. So let's go and check our induction matrix and see if we're producing power. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, now I can sleep at night. Well, it's almost time to wrap up the episode, but before finishing this boring tutorial-y episode, I want to show you something. I wanted to have a Guardian of Gaia fight in our new arena, and I discovered something new. I want to also show it to you because it was very surprising. Let's see. So at this phase, the Gaia Guardian should spawn monsters, and it's not doing that. The reason for that is that below the arena I have a mob totem, because there were a lot of caves and mobs were spawning, and every time I was walking here I used to hear it was making me angry. So I put a mob totem, and apparently it just damaged the Gaia Guardian, because it's no longer spawning mobs and he's fighting alone. So that presents us with an opportunity to maybe farm him. I don't know, but maybe not in the next episode, but in the future we can work on that. I'll have to check it out. In any case, this is what I wanted to show you. So I just killed the Gaia Guardian, and I wanted to show you where the mob totem is, and I only had one corrupted chorus fruit. I didn't know you cannot craft them. You have to find them in dungeon chests. It's here. Alright guys, it's time to wrap up the episode because it's getting super long, and I know that Industrialcraft and making UU matter are not the most funnest of stuff to do, but at least we managed to finish it in one episode and we'll no longer have to do it. So I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next episode. Bye bye.